Just because you are a rich person and you know how to do something well in music doesn't mean you could just do everything. Let's be honest, building an entire city, he's gonna build this whole city with hospitals, with the fire department.
Building a city, and then he's gonna do it in a short amount of time without anyone's help.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Right, Akon, the rapper. A rapper's gonna do.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. You gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Okay, so in this episode, we are talking about Akon and his scam city. So he's being accused of scamming people, trying to build this city in Senegal. We're going to talk about how we actually had a chance to work with Akon. We didn't work with him. We're going to tell you that whole story, how that came to be. But more importantly, was he just trying to scam? Was he trying to take advantage of Africa the same way that so many people do? Was this just some attempt to get money from the Chinese? Like, what actually happened? What is going on? We are going to break this whole thing down.
Yes, let's get into it.
Okay.
We actually had a chance to work with Akon a couple years ago.
Yes.
We were doing some music out in California, a source that we had. And he had seen your channel. And, you were writing a book, and we were talking to him about doing a forward in a book or something.
Right. We were going to have him write the forward because at the time he seemed like this inspirational person because he was building the city.
That's when it first started.
Yes, that's when it first started. Exactly.
And they were traveling back and forth to Senegal, setting everything up. And then we got a chance to actually see in the beginning what the city was going to look like.
Yeah, they sent us all of those futuristic plans that looked like, to me, Wakanda.
Right. And it was very interesting. What they were saying, they were like, wow, he's going to take this 3-mile strip and then turn it into an actual city. And then the thought in the back of our mind, I know you had a question. As someone in economic development. How does an artist build a city?
Exactly. So I think this is funny because I think there's two different things that we really got to get into. Just because you are a rich person and you know how to do something well in music doesn't mean you could just do everything. I know we see 50 Cent and we've seen other people go from different genres, but let's be honest, building an entire city, like literally I have a master's degree in economic development and I could not build a city. I'm having trouble building apartment buildings. You get what I mean? So like he's going to build this whole city with hospitals, with the fire department, with the police department. He's going to build utilities and sewers and like just everything that goes into this.
And that's the thing that
a rapper's going to do.
That's interesting about his situation, is to think about our idea and then the reality of the idea.
Exactly.
Something sounds good in your mind. You think, and so many times I started something, I know you started something, where you thought this is going to be a great idea. Then you get 2/3 into it or 1/3 into it and you realize, oh man, all these things you have to do, like
all these people you need and expertise that you don't have and education you don't have and knowledge and not to say that he couldn't do it, but I just think that it's so far-fetched. An entire city. I think that an entire city, like, are we serious right now?
Right, and in a short amount of time too.
It
was supposed to be.
It's 2024. It's supposed to already be done.
It's supposed to already be done.
Yes, and this was just a couple of years ago when it was still a vacant land, which ironically today it is still just some vacant land with
a box on it, and a shell of a
shell of one of the buildings that kind of looks like what they showed in their renderings.
And the thing about it is that is a overwhelming undertaking that he's going to take on, building a city, and then he's going to do it in a short amount of time without anyone's help.
Stop. You are watching a very important conversation on our podcast, but let me tell you about another very important cause: children's illiteracy. The Marley Sims Foundation is my nonprofit organization, and this episode is sponsored by the Marley Sims Foundation. We are committed to combating children's illiteracy because a child that cannot read by the 3rd grade is 3 times more likely not to graduate from high school and 10 times more likely to go to prison. We have got to start doing our part and start fighting children's illiteracy and get our kids reading. please donate at marleysins.org and you can get this free t-shirt just to show your support and help us fight children's illiteracy. It is so important. This is a serious conversation, so let's get back to it. Right, Akon, the rapper. Like, what, again, he's a rapper. He is not this highly educated city planner. He's not this architect. He's not this civil engineer. He has no background whatsoever.
That's not his specialty.
At all. He hasn't worked in the industry in any way, shape, or form. He is just this rich guy who's made wealth and was successful in music.
Right.
And now we think that all of those skills just transform right into building an entire city.
And I think what's taken out of a lot of things when you're taking on doing something is actually failing at it is part of doing it.
Right.
And you, if you have the expertise in a certain field, you already know some of the things that he's going to come across.
Right.
As someone coming from the entertainment business.
Right.
Going into building a city.
Right.
Like, there's so many things that other people that have built cities before that you have to know about, that you don't come across.
Right.
And money does not solve that problem.
It does not. Being able to earn money in music doesn't mean you now have these other skills.
Or raise money or get people because you're wealthy and they know your name to invest into a city. It will be something that you would have to have some idea of what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And some experience in some shape or form. And so let's even take this further. Mm-hmm. So he's building this city that has no sewage, it has no trash, it has no roads, there's nothing. There's no electricity. What are we talking about?
And then you're getting the land from people that were already there.
Yeah, and I don't even want to get into that part. We'll get into that part later about how he got the land and that whole part of it, because to me, I think if there was anything to say scam, I feel like that part of it was possibly the scam part, and then the money. We'll talk about his Akoin cryptocurrency, which to me is, I'm not a crypto person. You guys know I'm a real estate person. I'm a business person. I'm not a fan of cryptocurrency. Right. So whenever I even hear crypto, I'm out. That's just me. I'm out.
I mean, it's hard to understand. So I'm saying, like, you have this. You add a new technology or a new thing that we don't know to building a city.
Right. Right.
And you're adding, and you're not an expertise at that because that's a new thing. So you don't even know about that. You're doing all this to build a. I don't see how it was. It could have ended anyway.
It was never right. Could have never ended any way than what it did. And so let's kind of go back. So like I said, we get this opportunity where Akon is this amazing person at the time. And again, I'm not saying anything negative against Akon. I actually did not meet him, but I knew immediately when I saw the city and the whole idea. I was just like, I don't see how Akon, a rapper, is building a city, an entire city. Like, I just don't think they understand what goes into an entire city. Right.
And that's overall the major point of what, when we're looking at this, that we're thinking about. When you're taking on something, when you have an idea of something, you have to look at the X's and O's. I remember when you were doing one of your events, one of your first events, and you was getting together and you were asking, we was talking about all things that are supposed to be there. You're like, where are the trash cans? You know what I'm saying? Like, and those are the questions that would be that you would ask when someone is saying, like, when we first saw those plans, when they brought us to it, and it was supposed to be like Dubai is now. That's what it was supposed to be like.
And as if Dubai was built in a year or two.
It was part of it was supposed to be mimicking Wakanda because Black Panther was very big at that time. And you're looking at this and you're thinking about all those things and just a small aspect like that. Where is the trash cans? Where's the sewage? Who's gonna take care of that? And all those things. Right. Because you just have buildings and futuristic and people and Dubai has to have a sewage system. Correct.
They have utilities. They have a grid. Are you not understanding all of just the infrastructure before you actually come in and you start building these buildings? Like, okay, so you build a building. Inside of building the building, at some point you need electricity turned on.
Right.
So you can continue, like after you even get to the framing of the building,
right.
they put the ducts in, and then they have the electricity, and then they turn the lights on, and they finish the building. And so they're building a building, but they didn't even bring electricity into this area. What the heck are we talking about?
Right, and if you ever watch these like press conferences of people that are about to take on some big project or something, you'll always see a guy in the front, like we'll say like Akon, the main person is talking. Yeah. You see a row of people behind him.
Yes, rows and
rows of people, and they come up and talk. Those are the specialists. It was supposed to be a guy that says, okay, I am the sewage guy. Correct. I'm the city planner. Yeah. I am the fire department guy. Right. I am the building inspection guy. Exactly. I am this electrician. Yes. And those things. And that's where I think where people feel the word, because I don't like using the word scam. I think
because that's Akon giving him attention that I don't know if he had that intention. Right,
and he has done a lot. He did say positive, he's done a lot in Africa with the solar panels and those type of undertakings. And that's the trappings of success. You were successful at this one aspect of doing something. Right. And then you're going to take on this big old project. Right. And you thought because this one was kind of easy, I've been there. And then the next thing, like, oh, wait a minute. Right. There's more to it than this. And it's easy. This is something that's easy from the outside to say. People have intentions, the best intentions when they're planning to do something. Yeah. And then people want to go, that's a scam. No, I don't necessarily think it's a scam. Right. You're gonna fail at some things. Right. Some things you're gonna fail and learn from. Right. Oh, we didn't plan for this, or we didn't plan for that. You know what I'm saying? It's that Andre 3000. You know, we can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. You don't know what can happen. So, I agree.
And again, as you're saying, you're making a great point. As an entrepreneur, there are different undertakings that I've taken, and they've taken longer than I've thought. Right. You know, for example, and I'll have investors, and I'm trying to explain. Okay, we're still working. It's still coming. Yeah. The fact that what made to me this one too much, for the mind, was obviously this is an entire city. So this is this huge undertaking. We're pretending like this is a project. It's not a project. Building a city, building an entire city. Right. Come on, that's not just a project. That's not just we're going to build a subdivision of houses, or we're going to build an apartment complex, or we're going to build a hospital. Right. You're going to build an entire
That's another thing. You look at a hospital, like if someone gets hurt. I didn't see that in there. Right. And I'm not saying that I looked all through the plans, but I didn't, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't the things that... In
schools, so it's a city that has to have schools, it has to have hospitals, it has to have roads, it has to have utility, it has a police department. Like, there's just so many different things, and that's what I'm saying. So it was just too huge of an undertaking. But let's take this even further. Where I do kind of walk up to him, where I'm not sure if Akon's intention was the crypto. So let's talk about, they had no currency. Right. Okay, actually they do. Senegal has a currency. Yeah, Senegal is a country. Okay, so this was a 3-mile radius city within Senegal, a country that has a government and it has currency. So what the heck are we talking about? Akon needs to make a coin, and that is the currency of this city. To me, okay, now we're getting close to scam.
Let's go. Let's go there. Because I kind of like, I understand the scam thing, but at the time, when we first talked to him, like right after the pandemic, like 2020, right. Crypto was the thing, and for young males, again, currency is like a even bigger than a city. Yeah. You do not know how currency works. Like the fact that the United States is the fiat economy. You don't really know the terms. Like what a currency is. So it was an undertaking of thinking. I'm thinking he thinks his ego may have been bigger than it should have been.
Currency is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
And a lot of people.
And it has to, like, you're just gonna make a currency.
And
that's tied to absolutely nothing.
A ledger and all these things, and that was just the thing back then.
Was it?
It was.
Was it? But Senegal had a currency.
Right, but
what was wrong with Senegalese pesos or whatever their currency is
called? The same thing is what was wrong with dollars and
nothing. Hence why I don't have any cryptocurrency. Why I didn't buy any Dogecoin and Booby coin and Poopy coin.
But these things were things that people thought they could make a currency. As you see, most of those are gone.
Yes.
Most
down
of
to
them
zero.
down to zero.
Akoin
is not even traded.
Right, it's not traded. It's taken off every platform. It was not ever anything. So what did he think? And again, Akon, he is a rapper. What made him, okay, so now he's an expert in building a city.
He also
city planning, and now he's an expert in currency.
I mean, he's a person behind Lady Gaga. Like he's a
again, music.
He's very successful in
music,
and that's the Hollywood effect. The Hollywood effect. If I'm good at one thing, I'm good at everything type of thing. And so, yeah, he might have thought that, and it is a lot of hubris.
It is, and hubris, and I'm okay with, again, I say this all the time. I have an ego.
Right.
You have an ego.
I
do. There's things that I think that I can do, and I'm not even upset that he thought he could do this. And I'm not even saying it still can't be done.
Right. It may take longer.
One person.
Right.
With no expertise at all.
Right. It just may take longer than he planned it to take. It may take longer than he planned.
But that's the reality of something versus the idea of something.
Right,
and
that's the main thing.
And as a real estate entrepreneur, people bring me these great renderings and these great plans, and if there's nothing behind it,
right,
then what are we doing?
Right, and then the fact that once you get into it, and we've been in many real estate situations.
Yes.
Once you get into it,
yes,
there may be things that come up that you didn't plan for.
Yeah.
That you're not.
And maybe he'll prove people wrong, like I said. So there was a point that when I first heard it, because again, I'm kind of with you. I don't like saying something is a scam because I feel like that's been used against me and other people that I know and some of my business partners and stuff like that. And it's just somebody not understanding or not giving it enough time to come to fruition and not understanding that Amazon lost money for 9 years and Tesla and Instagram is not profitable and all of these different businesses are not even profitable, but they're making revenue. And people not understanding the difference between revenue and profit.
Exactly.
That just people don't understand that. So I'm okay with that, and I didn't want to go there. But then let's talk about how his language is to defending his project or talking about his project. So now when we go to Akon and you confront him, you said that you were going to build this city. What's his response? He just starts pivoting to foolishness about men and women and how men are kings and men have the power and men are smarter than women. And it's just like, whoa, time out, sir. Talk about your project. Is it still going? Should people still be invested? Are you still working in it? What's your position in this?
I think I'm here defending Akon.
Defend. I'm okay with that.
So all right. The man versus woman thing is just ridiculous. I'm not defending that. What I'm defending is I really think he intended to do what he said he was going to do. It's just bigger than he thought.
I can see
and then
that.
I can see and from the kingly talk of kingly and the man thing, I think he has almost an inflated ego where to admit that I may have bit off more than I could chew.
Right, or this is going to take me 5 years or 10 years. This is not, I went into it, because you're saying a point that I agree with, okay? And I'm going to be 100% transparent. I have a company where I took on investors, and I thought we were going to be able to make a bunch of money much faster. Well, the pandemic came, and the timeshare thing that we had didn't quite work out, and some of the business partnerships that I had to terminate some of those agreements. However, I still communicate with my investors. They still have equity in something. We still have a project, so there's not like nothing. You get what I'm saying? So there's these people that'll raise money and they end up with nothing.
Right.
They have no tangible thing. Like there's nothing anybody can say about Noel Randall. There are actual properties that people can come visit. There's offices.
Right.
There's things that they can do. Now, okay, did it come out to be exactly how I had planned it? Again, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. You can do the best, but there's something. Why don't you have something? Come on now, Rick Ross, where y'all stuff at? Why y'all got nothing?
Well, the thing is,
why you have nothing?
The thing is this: for a lot of people, especially when you have the inflated egos, they're not able to do that. They're not able to say, "I thought this was going to work out, and it didn't." They're gonna shift blame and things like that. I'm not saying that's what Akon is doing. I'm saying is that
that's BS. Elon Musk has done that. Jeff Bezos. Every major person starts a business. They sell shares or whatever, and the stockholders want their dividends, and they're not getting them because they're still working the business. But when I'm going, even if I'm an early investor in Amazon, for example, they're not making any profit. So I've invested this money and I'm not getting any dividends. But I can log on and see that Amazon is a business. So there's still something going. There's something going. So I can just stay in it. So as an investor,
I will agree
sometimes
with
investors
the point.
need to just stay in it.
Your point, like, okay, so what's going on with the city?
Right, what's going on with the city? Why is
now that one I will give you.
That's a problem.
That's why I can't. What's going on with the city?
What's going on with the city? Why is there nothing? Why aren't there construction trucks?
Right, why is there construction? I can see.
They still be building the roads.
Yeah.
Like, why is no one working on it whatsoever? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I get
$5 billion.
$5 billion, and there's nothing still year after year after year. There's still nothing. You don't have anything.
Maybe.
I can see not having profits. I can, because again, I think every entrepreneur,
we have an idea,
and we think we're gonna get profits in a year or 2 years, and we look up, and 5 and 6 years later, we are still not profitable. When we have revenues, we have a business model, it's still going.
Right.
He got nothing, bruh.
I will give you that. Like,
why he got nothing? Why is it just an empty field?
Something behind the scenes.
He didn't even finish one building. With $5 billion, you couldn't give me one building that I could just kind of take pictures in or something?
I mean, maybe,
Defend why there's nothing.
I can't defend why there's nothing. There is a box in the middle of a field, something like that. I know that's bad. I don't know.
And defend why he just pivoted to men being the king and women being beneath men, and that women need to be home with the kids.
That's just the way
maybe if he has some women, he might have a city. Maybe if he actually got some women with some education about themselves, and they actually do have a degree in economic. Right, we should be right. We highly educated. Why would I be at home just with a kid and I got a master's degree and he can't even build a city? I bet you I could have got more built than he did.
I don't know. He said, you shouldn't be wearing a hard hat out there knocking the nails, and he won't be home with the kids.
Well, I'm gonna show y'all a picture of me in a hard hat. Cause I don't believe that, and I got tons of kids. I got a whole flock of them. What does that have to do? You need to get into the times, sir. And again, stay on the topic. If somebody's asking you about your city, saying it's a scam, say no, it's not a scam. I got X, Y, and Z going. Say something. Do something. Show us something. A picture, an aerial, a drone.
I agree.
Give me something.
I agree with something, but every time something doesn't go exactly like people, it's a scam.
That's true. And I do think we love people, because people love to be the victim. Right. They love to be the victim.
I don't know if it's a scam. I'm saying it may not have went as well.
So why doesn't he just say that? This is not going exactly as I planned.
Because it's just him. He needs to hire a PR department.
So why? No. Because he goes on these things and he doesn't even address that. He just starts talking about men and women and saying foolishness and the crazy science about how men can have babies without women. Again, talk about your
He did say that. He did say that a man can have a woman without a man can have a baby without a woman.
But a woman can't have a baby without a man.
I didn't understand. Something.
As if babies don't come out of women's bodies. I don't.
He got that. But I'm just saying, his science may be off with that.
So then his math, if you ain't good at science, you probably ain't good at math. You're probably not going to be able to build nothing. These are all like, and again, that's so back to your point. Like, is this a scam?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm telling you, the thing that makes me kind of get towards the line is the crypto and the Akoin thing. Because to me, that was just foolishness. It was an unnecessary thing. If you're building a city, build a city. Stay focused on that.
But let's go back there. Let's go back right for a second.
Okay.
I want to address something about the crypto, because I really think I've known a lot of people, especially on the music side. On the music side, I've come across so many people that were in the NFTs and crypto. They really thought that it was going to be the next thing. Yes. They really thought that.
Okay, I see that. Right.
Really, and I think
all kind of stuff we thought was something.
Akon.
We used to walk around with Blackberries. I mean, so lots of stuff was.
That's where I've drawn. That's what I'm saying.
I'm okay with that.
Scam means intention. Like he really thought he was going to be. When I heard the segments that I've heard of him speaking, he thought he was going to retire in that city and become the king of the city.
Right.
And he's a kingly, and men have kingly spirits, and he's a kingly person.
Not mad at that.
And he's gonna make his coin.
I'm not mad
and
at
name
that.
it after him. He
Too
really.
much.
He
Now
really,
we crossed the line. Now we crossed the line. We're in Senegal. Dude, we're in Senegal. We're in Senegal. We have a central government,
the king of
and we
the
have
city.
a country. We actually have a country. This is a city within a country that has a central government.
Thinking more
there's
like
a political system. There's a government
you
system.
travel to Europe. You think more like the Vatican. Like he'd be like the Pope. Like how Vatican is its own city type.
Okay,
of thing.
okay. So I'm agreeing with you with intention. Okay,
Right.
we don't know his intention. I think he did have a good intention to actually build the city. Okay, so I will give you ding ding. We're gonna give a check to Diggs on that one. Okay, now you can't tell me you that took $5 billion and you only got one building and you don't have not one road.
Maybe he's getting all of that together. Like when do the stars get the benefit of the doubt?
Okay.
It's just, we live in a culture where we're looking for the slithering in
That's
your...
true. People love to see the chink in your armor and
stars and people that are doing stuff
I
and
agree.
the nowhere around. You guys have to walk on water.
That's true. You have to be
Lo
perfect.
behold,
I
your
know.
toe go beneath the water.
I know. And
You said that this was gonna be this,
Yes.
and then it didn't
I agree.
happen.
I agree.
And then there's something with investor confidence. If you say to them, well, I thought this was here, but we're going to take longer than this, then they're going to take that as you didn't know what you were doing.
Okay.
So it's...
You can't know everything. Again, that's why I said, if he was still working in the city, I would have a different opinion right now. Now again, my opinion can change because again, I've been wrong so many times in my life. So maybe he needs to come back and maybe 3 years from now, this video he'll be laughing in our face. Because here's the thing. Let me say something to your point.
Right.
Because you're right. I've been on the Akon side where I've been accused of something. Okay. But here's what I have to say to that. I actually have a ego, same like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to be able to show people. Like I have an idea in my mind. Oh, you're gonna regret saying those things about me, or you're gonna regret not believing in what I'm doing, because the business, although it did not move as fast as I thought, it is still growing. It is still doing well. And there is a side to it. Like he's a black male. He's an African male.
Right.
And there are doors that are harder for us to get into.
Exactly.
As a female, I could say there were ideas, pretty pictures were planned, and then certain people did not let me in the door the way that I thought I was going to be let into the door. So we give them those. And I think we should stick together in that way. And that is why I would just look for different language from him. Like instead of going to this whole nother pivot of women being beneath men and things of that nature, why don't we pivot and rally together? Why didn't he rally together? Like, man, this was a bigger undertaking than I thought. I'm gonna need y'all to stick with me. I'm gonna need more people with expertise. Who has a degree in this? Who's willing to pitch in? Instead of, it's like he turned against the people that would have supported him.
Well, I think he needed
unnecessarily
a woman. A woman might have.
There is that feminine energy.
The feminine energy might have
relate that. Okay, it didn't work out exactly, but it's still going. You know, like sometimes you're raising your kid, and your kid is misbehaving in some way that you didn't plan. But that doesn't mean you're done. Doesn't mean you're a bad parent. I'm raising this kid. He's doing stuff that I didn't think he was gonna be doing or she's doing. But I'm not done yet. I'm still raising this child. I'm still going through it. And if he was saying, I'm still working in this project, I'm still in this business.
Right.
Then that's something different. He got to get back in there.
We're giving you stuff, Akon. We're giving you stuff. We your PR team right now, and we were working with at a time. You're one of the artists that was willing to give conversation with us. So,
that's true.
So we kind of got.
I do. I have some favor for him for that.
Some favor for you for that.
I do. But let's talk about another point to this, okay? Because this is another point. Tying yourself to people's brand. So one of the reasons why I didn't actually move forward with it, like you were, actually, let's be honest, you were more gung-ho and did kind of want those endorsements, because in the music business, you know, Kendrick Lamar is endorsed by Dr. Dre. He's what it is. You know what I mean? If Lil Wayne say Drake is what it is,
one cosign and you
exactly. You get co-signed by somebody in the music industry. It does hold a lot of weight and carry you a lot forward, carry you further, faster.
Right.
Now, as an entrepreneur, that sometimes really backfires. You tie yourself to someone's brand, and all of a sudden they're doing something crazy and you don't even know this person. You know what I mean? There's, Oprah has pictures with Weinstein and stuff. I know she regrets that. Like, she probably like, I don't even know this dude. Yeah, and so let's talk about that aspect. Like, I didn't want him to do the forward in my book because I don't know Akon. Right. That's kind of why I was like, I don't really know him. Yeah, he seems like he's doing this great project, but why am I pretending like I've worked with Akon and I've been to Senegal and I've seen this project and I'm endorsing him and he endorses me? Right. It's kind of
the plan was to go and meet him and to fly out. Like, they were like, the guy we were talking to was flying on a plane with him and wanted us to come somewhere. But the thing is this.
I was not interested.
The thing is this. Once you saw the city, yeah, you didn't know if this was going to turn out.
Yeah, it just
and that's the thing about dealing.
It hit my energy wrong.
Right. That's the thing about dealing with people.
It's energy to something, to people.
Do you want to tie people up to you in a certain way that if you're not sure about what they're going, how this is going to turn out? If they don't give you all the X, Y's, and Z's of this, like, okay, we're going to build a city and we're going to take all this money and we're going to build a city, and you can see this might not work out for you.
Right.
I don't want to be tied to this.
I don't want to be tied to that. That's like, working with people is kind of hard in that regard, period, because you have to just kind of feel their energy. And it's always just a feeling. It's never, there's no tangible checklist. There's no granting like, this is a good person, this is a bad person. They could be great and then one day, they're human beings. They could be awesome for 10 years and then one day flip out. Or they were always doing something shady or with kids or, with women and drugs and Diddy and stuff like that. And you have no idea who these people are. And so is it even necessary to tie yourself to somebody's brand?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But you really felt that way, because I remember at the time we were kind of going back and forth where you did want that big cosign, and I was just like,
because as you learn, and just like building the city, building the brand in music, you learn some things. Like, I've learned that there's plenty of artists that.
We'll talk about the Tory Lanez. Okay, so now we're talking about Akon, but this brings us to another interesting person, Tory Lanez. You had the opportunity to work with him, and to me that didn't work out as well. It had that same shadiness to it. I'm not saying Akon is shady, but I am saying Tory Lanez is. That's always kind of been my opinion. Right. So tell the story, because I think this is an interesting one about tying yourself to a brand, and one where I think I was right.
Well, at the time, I had a song, and we were putting it out. Had reached out, the same person that we were talking to with Akon, and we actually got in contact with Tory Lanez. And Tory actually, I was on the phone with him, and we talked back and forth. He was in Miami, I was in Orlando, we were going to connect. And the thing about it is, he didn't want to do the business like
a business person.
Like we did. He wanted me to bring cash, more than 10 grand, to Miami, and we could just do everything that we had to do in Miami, which is, you can't do that. And so I didn't, she was like, man, it's not something we want to do. So we tried to clean it up. We tried to clean it up.
Because I'm the manager, you're the artist. I understand you guys want to make songs, but I'm the manager. I'm going to be like, we need contract, we need the attorney, so I need releases. If I'm going to pay somebody something, especially this large amount, we're not talking about $200 or $500. We're talking about stacks, okay? And then one, he wants it in cash. Two, he don't want the lawyer to sign. It just is like, why? Why can't we do real business?
And so at the time, you know what I'm saying, it kind of worked out good, because right after that, the thing he got caught up in with
Megan Thee Stallion,
Meg and all that went down, and it wasn't. We didn't get the feature done. We never got the song completed, and it was just the fact that the business wasn't correct, and the whole thing is we had a conversation. Me and you is this is not the way we want to do business. And, I had a conversation with him. Of course, he was kind of, at the time, kind of upset that it didn't go down the way that he wanted it to. But that's a thought about. And when you get those red flags like that situation, when you're doing business and you send over a contract to somebody, everything lined up, and you're ready to go. You get your manager involved. Everybody's ready to go. And the person's like, nah, I think we should just do this back way. You get that feeling. that gets you out of the situation.
Right, because when we talk about back way, there's a way that songs are done. There's releases, there's contracts, there's wires, there's an invoice. Like, why did we have to, like, again, red flag, somebody wants to do business with you, but they don't want you to send the money in a way that's trackable.
And that's the hardest thing in music, what you had to grow to understand, and I think that's in life, period, is being a fan of somebody and doing business with them.
Okay, let's talk about it.
It's acting to family almost.
Okay, I'm
like
listening.
The type of people you have in your space. You give them kind of like, because he was a artist I looked up to and I listened to every day, and the excitement of being on the phone with him and back and forth with me and him talking, I got caught up in that and not thinking about that's the way to handle business, the way you do business.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. And it happens that with family. Like, you have family doing something for you.
Yeah.
And then they'll want to do it this way and not really fully do it. And because it's family, they feel like, hey, we just going to skip on this part.
Right.
Or we just, I'm not going to finish this and you're going to pay me for this. And that's the thing about connecting your brand to different brands.
Right. It got to be alignment. There has to be alignment of energy. And I did not like the energy. And again, just going back a few years, obviously right after this happened and it fell apart, that thing happened. And I was like, this person, his energy, I wasn't feeling the energy of this needs to be done right now. This needs to be done kind of without contracts. This needs to be done this way. And it wasn't, none of the ways that we were saying were the ways that you typically do business.
Do business. And that's what happens a lot of times in business transactions, especially in the music industry. Somebody's pushing you to do something because of your desire to be famous, or your want to be around them, or your whatever you have as far as like looking towards fame. And this is something that when we first started, you talked to me about. We always talked about being more rich than famous.
It's a big difference between rich and famous.
It's a big
period, point blank. And I always had to explain that to people. Like, there are people that are rich and famous. There are some people that are rich and not famous, and there are people that are famous and not rich.
Right.
You do not have to be rich and famous. And for the most part, most people that are rich are not famous.
Right.
And most people that are famous are not rich.
Right.
There's this fame, because fame is about you know, the picture and how it looks and attention, and then it garners attention to then be monetized in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And so there's this thing about fame that's attached to wealth, and they really are not the same in any way, shape, or form. And in many times they're not even correlated.
Right, they're not even correlated, and you see that in the way that business is handled. You think because this guy is famous, you guys can just handle business like that, but you find people that are famous that are out here just hustling like everybody else. They just you just know them,
right? But
they don't really have what they sometimes claim to have,
right?
And
because if that's the case, you're supposed to be this big time artist. Why are you asking for cash? Where's your attorney? Where's your manager? Like, you talk, where's your manager? Why are two artists talking to each other? We should be manager to manager. Right. That's how I see it.
Right. We should be lawyer to lawyer, and then so and you can't get things signed. You have no recourse. And a lot of times, this is what happens to a lot of artists in music. You don't have any contract to fall back on.
Right, so you have no recourse.
You bring somebody money.
You don't even have anything.
And you see these guys.
And they don't get their verse. They don't be getting a video appearance, or they tell them they're going to do the video, and then they don't do the video, but you don't have a contract, so you can't make them do the video.
You come around, just be sitting in the studio for hours.
Waiting on a person.
I've done that, sitting in the studio for hours waiting on a person, because they are more important than you in their eyes. How you handle business is how you handle business. Like, you don't become successful and then become important. You are important to yourself. That's how you become successful. And I did not know that. It took my manager to stop me from making all these people important. People will come to me as an artist. That's one of the struggles of as an artist, and be like, "Hey, man, I need my money right now."
Yeah.
They haven't given us.
They haven't given you anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. And that's the case.
Or they want all their money up front, and that's not how it works. If I am doing
front.
something in business, I usually will pay you a deposit. Then when you complete this portion of it, then I'll give you this part, and there's draws and parts of
That's what
releases.
contracts are for.
And they're just not understanding business. It's like, give me all my money up front. Well, if I give you all my money up front, I have no leverage.
Right.
If I gave you all your money, you've been paid 100%, and you haven't delivered me anything, I have absolutely no leverage. I'm not. That's a terrible situation. That's not business.
Right. That's why you end up doing things on your own, building your own wealth.
And that's okay, because that's, to me, is a better way to do it. I think so many times we think that we need other people to do things. And a lot of times you start to realize, even as we've gone up in our fame and our wealth, people are just people.
Just people.
People just people.
That's just another guy.
That's just another guy. That was just some guy.
Human.
He's nobody special. He's not superhuman. All of these great things. No. He's just a guy. And if you feel his energy and y'all can work together, awesome. But if he has the energy that you don't like, that's just some guy.
Don't. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it.
All right.
Well, all right. Make sure that you watch our next episode, and make sure you donate to the 𝗲𝐷𝐻𝐿𝐴 Foundation. This episode is sponsored by the 𝗲𝐷𝐿𝐴 Foundation. Yes. We want to make sure that you understand that children's literacy is so important. Almost all of your dreams cannot be accomplished if you cannot read. The ability to read and write is so important. It's even more important for our children to be able to read. So donate today to the 𝗲𝐷𝐿𝐴 Foundation. That's Marley Sims, MARLEY Sims, SIMMS.org. Donate today, and you will even get a shirt, a decal, or a children's book to give as a gift to a child that you love. Again, this is Noel and Diggs, and we will see you next time.
Next time.
Did you know that 2/3 of students who cannot read proficiently by the end of 4th grade will end up in jail or on welfare? The Marley Sims Foundation believes it's time to change this narrative. Education is the key, and literacy is the doorway to a brighter future. Hi, I'm Noel Randall, real estate millionaire, entrepreneur, mentor, speaker, YouTube star, mom of 7, and so much more. And literacy has literally transformed my life. And together, we're on a mission to transform the lives of children everywhere. In the United States alone, 58% of 4th grade students do not read at a proficient level. But we can rewrite this story. For just $50, you can be a hero in a child's story. Donate today and receive our exclusive This Shirt Buys Books t-shirt and both Marley Sims books to give to a child. It's not just a shirt, it's a lifeline to literacy. And the numbers show it. Every dollar donated has a direct impact on improving literacy rates. Studies prove that children who read at grade level by the end of the 3rd grade are 4 times more likely to graduate from high school. Join us on this vital mission. Your $50 donation helps provide books, resources, and literacy programs for children who need it most. Let's rewrite the story for these children. Donate $50, wear the shirt, give the books away as a gift, and be a champion for literacy. The Marley Sims Foundation, transforming lives, one book at a time. Donate now.